Yu-Gi-Oh! A series that has excited fans since its creation in 1996. However, the current state of the game has left it confusing for new players to attempt to enter, with over 60 different booster sets and countless other products as well. To this end, an ex-competitive player shall take on the challenge of attempting to get back into the game. He shall receive £30 to spend on cards. However, he can only spend it on sealed product, with no trading or purchase of single cards allowed. He must rely on his own hands, luck, and the heart of the cards to provide what he needs. Welcome to Breaking the Seal.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, as that very ominous voice in the intro told you, welcome to Breaking the Seal. This is going to be an attempt from a former competitive player to get back into the game using just sealed products, as the voice has just told you. And without further ado, let me reveal the first purchase of our £30. That's right, our first purchase is a Dual Devastator. That's why I'm recording this on my computer table, because the tripod that I originally was going to use didn't arrive in time. It's funny how the Deck Devastator, or Dual Devastator, arrived before the thing to actually record the series. Isn't that fun? Now, the reason I've chosen Dual Devastator as our starting point for this series is because I've heard quite a lot of good things about this box. Like, I've heard that apparently it has quite a lot of staples to help boost up decks for competitive use. Like, hell, I remember back when the bane of most people's deck existences was Ghost Ogre and Ash Blossom. I know there was some talk about using Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries in side decks for extra deck heavy decks. You know, like, well, at the time it was... I can't remember whether or not Ghost Reaper was out at the time where the Invoked and stuff were out. But yeah, I mean, I chose this just because it'll have some very good staples to boost the deck. Also, it comes with extra deck monsters, so like Saryuja Skulldread. I actually left the game just before Lynx came out. And you know, also I've heard very good things about Super Poly being used in the competitive season. So, with the magic of editing, we're going to remove the packaging from this box. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Huh. Doesn't seem to be very much in the box. I mean, I guess I could use the storage space for storing cards when we get some more stuff for the series. But let me just open up this, put that away. And what do we have? Quite a lot of things. And 4 Field Center cards. I don't really see the point of Field Centers. Like, from what I've heard, you can just use anything. So, we'll open up the packaging for this and have a proper look. So, another magic edit. Well, that was magical, wasn't it? So, yeah, these are the Field Centers. We got Yugi and the Dark Magician looking pretty nice. Joey and the Red Eyes. Pegasus and Toon Summoned Skull. I would have thought they would have gone with, like, Relinquish. And then, random ghost child looking out of a window. I mean, the back of these look alright. It does literally just say what it is on the tin. So yeah, let's put those away for now. And we will get into the meat of the meat of everything. The cards. So let's see, starting off we have Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. I think this is an alternate, this is an alternate art I think they did for that. It's quite nice, I'll get use out of that. Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries. I don't think I'm going to see much use of this, particularly because I don't think that I'm really going to find that much extra deck stuff for the current deck. Let me just double check it. Yeah, this is reveal 1 card in extra deck, then yeah. I don't think I'm gonna really use Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries because I don't see much. I don't think I'll get much stuff to banish my opponent's extra deck for this. Right, next up, Ash Blossom, Joyous Spring. That's definitely going to see some use because all of the things that you can negate, that's definitely going to get some use. Ghost Bell and Haunted. Oh, it's the Weird Ghost Girl. So add a card from graveyard to hand, deck, that. Special summon a monster. So, okay. Might get some use out of this. It's an Earth Tuner, level 3, possibly. Ghost Sister and Spooky Dog. What do you even do? When you post a special discuss an extra deck. Wait. All it does. During the main battle phase, I gain life points equal to its attack. Okay, I don't think I'm going to use Ghost Sister and Spooky Dog because its effect doesn't really seem to help me whatsoever in the deck. So next up we have Red Blossoms from Underroot. What do you do? Target a spell card, special summon. If this card's in your hand, banish a spell in my opponent's graveyard. Special summon this, tribute it to target thing in graveyard. Banish that and special summon. What? Hang on, so I can just tribute this, I can special summon this, tribute it, target and link Synchro Fusion Rexes in either graveyard, banish it, and then special summon from my graveyard that's a different type. Yeah, I think she'll see some use. And we've got some just generic synchros. Catasta. Don't think I'm gonna use that much. The deck that I've got an idea to play doesn't really tend to use synchro summons. So sorry for the shadows. My light is being a little bit peculiar. Next, Bryanak. Might find space in the extra deck just because it's a very good card. Metaphys Horus. I think this thing just depends on what was actually used in the material. So I don't think that'll get use. Black Rose Dragon. Maybe just for board destruction effects. What's next? We got Clearwing Fast Dragon. I don't know what you do. You were before my time. So quick effect, target one monster my opponent controls that is special from the extra deck. Change it to 0, negate its effects. Just seems like it's just a negate on legs and also reduces attack. Oh, it's also a pendulum monster, that's neat, but I don't think I'm going to use the effects. Level 7, 2/5 attack. I might find space if I need it. Stardust Spark. In my opinion, this card not as good as the original Stardust Dragon. Scarlight Red Dragon Archfiend. I may actually see some use of this. Just a board wipe effect, and then have a 3k beat stick. Trishula. Yeah, pretty good. Might see some use. Vermilion Dragon Mech. I remember like a load of people were raving about this card when it first came out, like going, "Oh, it's so amazing! You banish a tuner to destroy stuff." But then adds the tuner back, and I don't know. It doesn't seem like useful. Probably not going to avoid. Abyss Dweller, always useful. So many decks that use graveyard effects. Get rid of that. Silent Honor Arc. Probably not going to use as much because, honestly, from what I've heard, decks nowadays, some of them do pretty well against, or some of them just like stop. They don't allow targeting of their monsters. Plus, this thing is probably just going to eat and negate. Castell, probably maybe the same kind of issue. A lot of cards nowadays will just negate it when I try and use it. Tornado Dragon, just some spell and trap card destruction. For a quick effect. Might see some play, probably not. Now, honestly, I don't know much about Lynx. I left the competitive scene before Lynx actually came to play. Sorry about the stuff in the background. Shadows are very annoying when I'm trying to manipulate things. Okay, so Underclock Taker. 2 effect monsters, link 2. I think that just means I just send them. Give something a target monster loses attack. So I summon a monster below this. Target one of my opponent's monsters. It loses my monster's attack. Just seems to me like that will get destroyed before I do anything. Lanfarincus. Yeah, this will probably get used. I've heard this is like a very good generic link too. Let's see. Gaia Saber, the Lightning Shadow needs. Oh, it's a link 3 that needs 3 monsters. This is probably never going to get used. Decode Talker. I've heard this is like the Stardust Dragon or the Dark Magician of the guy who is like the latest anime protagonist. Gains 500 attack for each monster it points to. This card activates a card or effect that targets a card you control. Tribute a monster it points to, negate. Might see some use for it, probably won't do. What the fuck is this? Probably just some other thing that helps it. Topologic Bomber Dragon. Look like it's got Link 4 thing. Got a special summon to a monster, a Link monster points to. Right, I'm also. Well, this card's on the field. Oh, so this board wipes if my opponent summons a Link monster or something. Oh, if my opponent summons a monster that a Link thing points to. So my opponent cannot. My other monsters can't attack for the rest of the turn. Not so sure about that, to be honest. If this card attacks. Let me put the phone down. Make it a little bit easier on myself. Okay, so. This card attacked an opponent's monster. Inflict damage to. Equal to that. Okay, so wait. After damage calc, so I can crash this into something as a big 3k beat stick, then use this effect and burn my opponent. That's alright. So are you just Skuldred? What have we got? Link 4 gains different effects depending on the monster things using its Link summon. I actually quite like that artwork, it's pretty nice. If a monster is normal or special summoned to a zone I control, that monster gains 300. Yeah. Once per turn during my main phase, I can special summon one monster from my hand. This card is Link summoned to draw 4. So it does a boost up Graceful Charity. I'm sorry, the +3 effect. Once per turn during the main phase, special a monster from hand. I'll probably find some use for that. I'm not going to lie, I will find some use for that. And stuff like DD Crow. This definitely saw some use back then. You just do anything that target the card in the gate, and you go DD Crow, fuck you, no. My apologies for the swearing. Veiler, I'll see some use for that. Gate Blocker. So negates field spells. My opponent cannot place counters in the field. I've heard that one of the decks that I've been considering is like Endymion? Like Master Endymion or something like that, using this to, using a load of spell counters, so this might be a good side deck to consider for them. Just drop it, my opponent can't put counters on there. Denko Seka. Warrior control no set spells and traps, where neither player can set or activate spells that are set. I'm iffy about this. I remember it got a load of people talking, but the problem was that it kind of relied on your opponent setting things, and quite a lot of decks just played the cards. Let's see, Inspector Border. Can it be normal special if I control a monster? Neither player can activate monster effects unless things... Wait. So this thing just does a blanket negate effect? It's weird. Spell Counselor. Why is this the thing? Spells and their effects cannot be negated. Negate all spells. A level 5. That's the problem with it. Level 5. Unless there's some easy way to cheat it out, it's probably not going to see much play. Artifact Lancia. I remember when this was pretty much used in all the side decks, because it just stopped your opponent from banishing stuff. Like, I was around when Invoked were a thing, so they would just banish their stuff and go nuts. Vanity's Fiend, very good. I remember when this was definitely played. Majesty's Fiend, that's just pretty much the same thing, but no monster effects. Vanity's stopped special summons, Majesty's stopped effects triggering. Ooh, this is a new one for me. Dino Wrestler Pancratops. Opponent controls no monsters than you do. Special summon this card from hand. Tribute a dino. So wait. So you special summon this guy for free if my opponent has more monsters like a Cyber Dragon. Then you can just tribute it to pop a monster, pop a card. Is it? It's a quick effect as well. Huh. I might see some use out of him. Just special summon him, swing for 2/6, and then pop him to blow up something. Yeah, that'll see some use. Ah, now this is a familiar boy. Gameciel, the Sea Turtle Kaiju. I honestly, when kaijus first came out, I debated trying to build a deck of just the kaijus, because I like the idea of big monsters having a massive battle, crashing into each other. I like that idea. Mind control, pretty standard. Steal one of your opponent's things. It can't attack or be tributed. You can synchro with it, or Xyz, or do other shenanigans. Probably link with it as well now. Wave motion cannon. Send this face-up card to the graveyard. Inflict 1,000 for each standby phase that has passed since this card was activated. Probably see some play in burn decks, but I'm not going to use it. Super polymerization. Just fuse with your opponent's things on the field, and they can't do anything to stop it. That'll probably see some play. I just link. My opponent makes a massive board. I just synchro their monsters into something. Like, I think if my opponent's playing a dark deck, I remember Starving Venom Fusion Dragon was just like, hey, make me with any two darks. So Book of Eclipse. Just put all my monsters' things face down. Okay, Book of Eclipse just sets all my things face down. Then at the end phase, they draw equal to the number of cards that were set. That's probably never going to get used. Silent Graveyard. Discard a card. Effects that activate in the graveyard this turn are negated. So just stuff like mill for discards for cost and then do things get negated. I don't know. I need to check the ruling on that. Cosmic Cyclone. Pay 1,000. Target a card. Banish it. I'm iffy on this thing. It just seems like a worse. Just seems like it's a worse Twin Twisters or MST. I might pop it in the side, who knows. Called by the Grave. I've heard very good things about this card. Target one monster my opponent controls in the graveyard, banish it. If I do, till the end of the next phase, it's negated, and the activate things there also negated. So I've heard that you can use this when your opponent tries to drop a Ghost Ogre or anything, because they get they hit the graveyard, and in response to their effects, you activate Called by the Grave in hand, targeting that to banish these things. It's neat. It's a neat little combo. I've learned. Let's see. Now on to traps. Different Dimension Ground. This turn, so it's a regular trap card, Macrocosmos. Probably not going to see much play in that. Let's see what Typhoon. Let's target a space-up spell and trap card. If my opponent controls 2 or more and I control none, I can activate this from hand. Kind of requires a card to be face up, honestly. And most decks tend to keep their stuff face down in reactive things when you try and do stuff. Probably not going to use. Forbidden Apocrypha. Apocrypha? How the hell you pronounce this thing? Declare a monster type, fusion, synchro, and Xyz. If 2 or more of those are on the field, send all of them. Well, send all of that declared type. This, I honestly I used this quite a bit back when the Invoked were a thing, because most of the times they try to get out Invoked Mechaba and then try and get something else. Or Synchro decks where they would just spam out things or try and link it, make a load of Xyz. I played the hell out of this thing, just like, cool, nope, goodbye. Dimension Barrier. This was the bane of my existence back when I was playing the game, because most of the times all the decks that I played used at least 3 of these, mainly 1 of them. I used to play pendulum decks and such, so this thing would just destroy my face. Lost Wind. I've been hearing very good things about this card. Target a special summon monster and negate its effect in half its attack. If my opponent special summons the thing while this is in the graveyard, I just set it, so you get 2 activations of it. This is definitely see some use. Now what's this? Heavy Storm Duster. Target 2 spell and trap cards on the field, destroy them, no battle phase. Yeah, I'll just use Twin Twisters instead, thanks. Royal Decree. Negate traps. Might see play against some trap heavy decks. I don't know how many there are. in the current game. Anti-spell fragrance, no set your spells, no activating them. Courtesy use. There can be only one. This is a new one for me. What do? Each player can only control one monster of each type. If a player controls two of the same type, he must send some to the graveyard to them. So you use this against spam decks? So you just go, cool, you can only have like one link monster, one effect monster, I think? Or just by type does it mean, like, oh no, that's attribute, I think? Or does it mean like psychic, fiend, machine, etc.? Let me double check that. Wiretap, just negate a trap card, go no thank you, go back to the deck for you. That'll definitely see some use. Solemn Strike. The monster would be special summoned, pay 1/5, negate the summoner activation, and destroy that card. I've heard that Solemn Warning, not Solemn Warning, Solemn Judgment currently came off the ban list, so that's a thing. That might be a thing to look out for, potentially. And then finally, the last card in there, Red Reboot. Upon activates a trap, negate the activation, and set that card face... If you do, set that card face down. They set one other trap directly from the deck. So you activate this, steal your opponent's trap card, and then they get to set another one? Rest of the turn after this, your opponent can activate trap... For the rest of the turn after this card resolves, your opponent can activate trap cards. You can activate this card by playing half your life points. That's an interesting one. But yeah, give me a second to do a little bit more magic, do a little bit more Give me a second to do a little bit more magical editing, and I'll reveal the cards that I'm probably going to keep a hold of to just pop into a deck when episode 2 comes out, when I finally start to build something. So 3, 2, 1. So bring up the cards that are going to be going into potentially into the deck. We have Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. It's a very good negate card. I don't see a reason why not to use it. Ghost Ogre, another negate card. Dino Wrestler Pankratops. I chose this because I can just, like I said, special summon it, punch something, tribute its effect, pop thing. Effect Veiler, very good for just negation. Called by the Grave, or answering to hand traps like Effect Veiler. I wish a card like that existed back when I was playing competitively. That would have been very much fun. I'm iffy on Super Poly at the moment because I don't have any targets. Who knows? Well, who knows? We'll see what I get in the next episode. Mind Control, because I can steal my opponent's things and make stuff with it. And then finally, Red Reboot, because I like the ability of just being able to negate my opponent's trap, potentially in the battle phase, to steal their trap and then make them use it. So that's main deck stuff. Extra deck stuff, we're starting up with Black Rose Dragon for blowing up stuff. Bryanak as level 6, potentially bounce things and then swing. Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend, massive beat stick and then blowing things up. Trishula, because banishing things, it's neat. I like it. Abyssrilla, the only Xyz that I saw that actually makes some use. Lanfrinkus, because I've heard that links are very useful and that's just a generic one. And then Saryuja Skulldread. I don't know if I'm ever actually going to be able to bring this guy out, but I've heard that he's very good and I should be using it. And then the side deck is, well, side deck at the moment. Ghost Reaper Bell and Winter Cherries, DD Crow, Gate Blocker for like the Endymion thing that I've heard can be nasty, Artifact Lancia, because no banishings, Vanities and Majesty's Fiend, Gamma-CL, Foreign Apocrypha, how the fuck you pronounce it, one copy of Lost Wind, Solemn Strike, and then laying up Wiretap. So that has been episode 1 of Breaking the Seal. I will hopefully get new stuff next episode and get a decent tripod so I'll be properly able to record this. And I thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time, and goodbye.